Alright guys, Saints Row is out. And it's time we talk about some of the best early upgrades and items you should get right away. If you want to start your gaming style get fully decked out early on, here are some of the best examples. I recommend getting it right away. In this video, we're going to talk about the best supercars, some insane weapons, wacky gadgets, and powerful skill upgrades you don't want to miss. With the two best supercars that you can already get super early, especially since it's free to just bring them at your garage or any gym rods. And just like Claim It over there, one of them can be found in the Marina West parking lot right here, on this side of the map, just a few blocks away from the Saints HQ. Assuming I already unlocked that and it's an already tuned up version of the Atrazone, is usually also part of Gym Rod's challenges. But it always spawns here both before and after that, so you can quickly bring it to any garage, and just make it yours. It also comes with the nitrous boost by default. So no need to spend any additional money on that, but you can unlock an infinite version of that as well with this car. So to do that you simply have to complete its skill challenge, which requires you to consume a full bar of nitrous without any interruptions, and if you do that 3 times the challenge is complete and you can go ahead and just activate the ability at any garage, and from here on out you can pretty much start that infinite boost, which will basically act as if you have infinite bars to consume. As long as you don't get interrupted, you can continuously burn through them. And there's even an achievement for that. I was able to pull 11 of these in one go, so let me know down below what is your best one. There's a second supercar, though called the Further Lance. You can find it very close to the first one, also part of Gym Rod's challenge. But you can also get it earlier than that, so you will find it in the Monte Vista region, spawning multiple of them very close to this villa is right here on the cliffside. Its special skill is called jumps, and just like what the name implies, it lets you basically jump over any car or the obstacle at any given time. If you instead prefer the versatility of this one, you can definitely pick it up. It also looks better in my opinion, and it has much more advanced kind of like tune-up options than the previous one. Now if you go into your phone's menu, you will also see that there is a perk section where you can just choose which passive bonus to have active in the minor, major, and elite slots, and this brings us to the best early perks. This will cost money obviously to unlock, but are totally worth it. Especially the starting 2 bonuses right here. To unlock new ones you basically need to pay attention to the bottom section here, as all of these new perks will require completing just one challenge to unlock. The next one of these challenges can be seen in the missions menu, secondary tab, and is likely you'll complete a lot of them by simply progressing through the game naturally. But starting with the minor ones, let's take a look at some extremely powerful options. Early on with the best one also in the minor category, being in the flow, causes you to never lose flow except when you perform a skill. This is basically the yellow dots on top of your HP bar, which fill up when you deal damage to enemies, and further, let you cast skills that you get as you level your character. I will talk about those in just a little bit, but it pretty much makes it so that you can spam them. With this one activated, Deadeye is another one. It reloads your weapons much faster following headshots, so pretty straightforward, and super useful in the major category. This comes a bit later, and if you have money, but 2 ones that I found really useful were Fast Learner. This gives you more XP, so you can level up faster and unlock more powerful skills, and Full Contact. This reduces the cooldown of your takedowns if you kick them, and then kill enemies following that takedowns. Of course, being the Saints icon here in the middle that fills up naturally, it is also one-shot enemies that aren't shielded, so it's really awesome to use that and spam so often. Now moving on to number 3, let's also talk about some of these skills. Of course these unlock gradually as you level up anyway, so not much to do here except maybe just quick buying them. But the Pineapple Express that you get in level 2 is by far the strongest ability throughout the entire game, and I heavily encourage you to use it pretty much all the way to the end of it. A great disable greater damage versus groups, and you can even use it on shielded enemies and bosses, which takedowns really can't, and because you're using it within the flow, it's going to never lose flow for you. Instead, it's going to constantly generate it for you, so you can pretty much spam this back to back. You can also of course go with some of the other skills, there's plenty of them in total, but yeah, you can also find a secret one that we will cover in just a little bit. In the meantime, let's talk about getting a free really awesome Death Blossom SMG very early and for absolutely free. If you've done any mission where the game gives this to you momentarily, you likely noticed how strong it can be. It normally costs 50k to unlock at any gun shop, which is likely eventually something you can afford anyway. But if you want it much faster, then I suggest paying attention to this side of the map right here, in East Providence, where you will find this riding shotgun first challenge. Basically, during that challenge you're automatically given this new pistol, as well as the Death Blossom SMG, and as long as you just complete that side the mission at the end of it, you are going to still retain the pistol as well as the SMG, even see its requirements to unlock. Hoverboard, a really strong skill that lets you shoot through walls, and a really awesome, well, kind of like rocket, a ball that attaches to targets and vehicles and just make them fly into the air before they explode. So as to get these, you actually have to create a new business venture, and you're going to have to pick the one called Eureka. Better, this is basically something that unlocks a little bit in the game, like not too late, it's still early, but it needs about 100,000 to be built on any empty lot, but totally worth it. So this is basically going to start a series of challenges around the map, where you kind of have to be a guinea pig and just test some future tags for somebody. The first one in the sequence is going to let you test the hoverboards. This is a pretty awesome tool to have. Anyway, it also has its attacks. You can slam it to the ground and deal heavy damage around you. It also makes cars to explode eventually, and once you finish that first challenge for the hoverboard, it's pretty much yours. You can go back at the garage, and you can also go ahead and modify it as you see fit, and pretty much claim it at any point after this. The second test gives you the quantum aperture. After, of course, again testing it is against the subject, you do need to quick bind this if you haven't already, and this is basically the skill that comes at level 21. There are no 21 levels in this game, but it's there as part of this mission. Reward chain, just like the name implies, this lets you, well, shoot through walls, and it comes in very handy. It feels a bit like cheating, but it's very useful in the later stages when there is areas filled with tons of enemies, and you might just want to get rid of them before going into the next room and subjecting yourself to too much pain. Finally, the last test will give you the thrust buster, which again is the attachable rocket I was talking about. If have you ever played Just Cause, this is basically the goofier version of the rockets over there. You can attach up to 3 of these on any target before they start getting launched, and it's actually pretty funny to see vehicles and people just flying up in the air and then finally exploding with a nice player. But this is also going to be very useful at just disabling a lot of enemies. Once it attaches to a target, that target will not attack you, so it comes in quite handy against some of the later stages, when there are a lot of armored enemies and you might want to take down a few before you move on to somebody else. Totally let me know down below which one of these you like the most, and if you found any other secret items or skills in your playthrough. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, a like would be amazing, and if you really loved it, a sub to the channel would definitely mean a lot. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time.